Hello and welcome back finally to the Main Stage podcast. It's been a while since we did one of these, and it's actually the last one of these that we did was with a guest that we're actually joined by again today. I'm joined by Sam. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. Thank you for having me again for the relaunch of the main stage.
Look, I'm excited for this one. We've got a really good episode here. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is the podcast. We do a bunch of stuff on here. We talk about new music. We talk about new music news, festival lineups, all that sort of stuff. But this one's a slightly different one as we're going into like more topic themed content. And it's kind of inspired by a video by Neopunk FM where they basically went and they ranked all of music based on who has the most annoying fans. And in this episode of the podcast, that's what we're going to be doing. I've got a bracket on my screen. I'm just going to share my screen with you now, and you'll be able to see the bracket, but we'll jump straight into that. So it should be coming up for you now.
I can't wait to see you've put on this bracket.
Bear with. Does it want to start?
There we go.
Okay, you can see everything, right?
Yeah.
So the first matchup we have in this bracket. Oh wait, I need to start the
Are we
first.
picking out of these artists who has the most miserable fans?
Well, not miserable, but just annoying, insufferable. Any variation of that. It's not necessarily who is like we're putting them through. So the team that we're the fans that we're picking are the annoying ones.
Okay.
So like, do you know what I mean? So we're trying to vote out people who have normal fans to find out who has the most annoying. So the first round is a bit of a big one, to be fair. It's Harry Styles versus the 1975. Now, I'll let you give your kind of 2 cents first, because I've got some thoughts on this.
Oh, immediately, Harry Styles fans. Harry Styles fans are like, this might end up spoiling the entire thing, are the worst fans I've ever had to deal with, just generally. For a,
You know what's, like,
for a man,
for me,
go
on.
For a man that has a song called Treat People with Kindness, they do anything but.
Yeah. No, the thing for me, so I've never really noticed Harry Styles doing anything too like toxic, let's say. Like I've never noticed too many toxic behaviors, but from in my head, Harry Styles fans are just kind of babies. They just kind of they're just little, like they're just babies, man. Harry Styles fans. I feel like the 1975, like there's more toxicity in the fan base with the 1975, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like you're more likely to find a normal, grounded, down-to-earth person in the 1975 fan base. Like in the 1975 fan base, there's always like a couple people that you like. They're fairly normal, and you can have a decent conversation with them, and they're quite grounded and kind of fairly normal, regardless of what's going on around them. Whereas with the Harry Styles fans, I feel like they're all so invested.
Yeah, I'm heavily biased about 1975 fans because I'm very much involved in that community.
That's the thing. And originally looking at this, I would have thought the 1975 would have been a no-brainer. But from what you're saying, I feel like you're leaning more Harry.
I'm leaning more Harry. So I saw Harry last year at Emirates Old Trafford cricket ground, and those fans were ruthless about being in a good spot at the front.
Yeah.
Like a member of the group that I was with, one of the members of the group that I was in, like passed out because of the heat and the fact that security weren't passing out water, and the fans around us acting like that was an inconvenience to their show.
I think
and it
the
was
thing that
before
puts
he
it in a
came
doubt, though. So the thing that makes me doubt Harry Styles' annoying power is like there's a lot of toxicity in the 75 fandom. Like there was a lot this summer, especially, and I feel like Harry Styles fans, they're kind of just doing their own thing. I don't think they're as quick to impede on other people's stuff, but I just think they're all children, and you're easier gonna find a normal 75 fan than a Harry Styles fan.
Yeah, I think that, to be fair, there's a lot of toxicity in the 1975 fan base, but I think there's also a lot of like community. And especially when you sort of get onto Twitter and stuff and TikTok, everyone just knows everyone, and everyone that's decent is nice to each other. And
whereas the Harry Styles lot, they kind of preach community, but really, it's so vast, and there's so many people in the Harry Styles fandom that you can't really. There is no sense of community. No one really knows each other.
Yeah. Because also
So
Harry's like such a massive artist as well.
yeah, exactly. So I'll agree with you. I'll put Harry Styles through for this round. Now, this next round is a true battle of the Titans. You got Taylor Swift versus Lana Del Rey. Initial thoughts on that?
I've met less Lana Del Rey fans that I've initially hated than I have Taylor Swift fans.
So my thing
That's
with
my
this,
initial response to
yeah,
that.
the way that I quantized this was like Taylor fans are much more toxic, but the thing with Taylor fans is they've actually fair play to them because they've actually got somewhere like they've got ground to stand on, like they have something that they can back up, which is reasonable. Whereas with Lana fans, they be chatting so much about an artist that isn't even good.
I've never
That's
got into
my
Lana Del Rey, but
with Lana for me, it's like Lana fans strike me as like liberal arts girls who they acknowledge the fact that Lana kind of glamorizes abuse, but they're kind of like just happy to accept that that's her art form, and they're like they understand that and they can acknowledge that. Whereas I think Taylor's fans are more likely to jump on board if Taylor preaches some bullshit.
yeah,
I feel like Lana fans are a bit more easily detached. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they're quicker to jump off board and go, okay, no, she was wrong about that. And they're quicker to kind of separate. So, but, like,
the big thing that I know about Lana Del Rey from this year was all the stuff about from Glastonbury when she kind of kicked off about being headlining the other stage, which is like that's
yeah.
not a small feat. Like headlining the second stage at Glasgow is huge still.
But
And
even like a lot of her fans then on Twitter afterwards, even a lot of her fans held her to account, which I think fair play to. The only issue I think the only issue like Lana's even in the debate is the thing of like Lana fans seem to have this thing that Lana Del Rey is more important to music than she actually is.
yeah,
Because like I remember talking to
I
someone
think
about like
Taylor Swift fans are like that.
no, but I think Taylor is actually kind of important. Like Taylor's been famous as like for my whole life, so you've got to
Yeah,
respect that and appreciate that. She's been like the most famous person in the world my entire life, whereas Lana Del Rey has really not contributed that much. And I was having a conversation with Lauren about like the Tumblr aesthetic and like 75 neighborhood, all those kind of guys. And I don't know if it was Lauren either, but someone said to me, she was like, "How can you like that Tumblr aesthetic without Lana Del Rey?" And I'm like, the music's just kind of boring. But that's the thing. They're like Lana Del Rey fans just can't comprehend the fact that no one really likes Lana Del Rey.
yeah,
But I think regardless of that, I think Taylor wins this every time because
yeah.
we've seen.
Taylor fans are
I think
they're a
Taylor is
different
like
breed.
probably the favorite to win this whole thing at this point.
It
I
dep it,
think
de
her
it depends
fans
if you've got
are
a certain Irish rock band on it.
yeah, that's the thing. So Taylor fans, they're very quick to defend Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like very quick. Like she could. That's the
She
thing. I
could
feel
kill
like
someone
Taylor Swift is
tomorrow and
kind of
Taylor Swift fans would be like, well, it was justified.
yeah, and she's kind of responsible for this thing that I'm noticing in music at the minute. And this might sound really out of pocket, right? But there's a few artists like Olivia Rodrigo and Billie Eilish, and they'll be writing like a breakup song. And these breakup songs, instead of it being like a normal amicable breakup, it's always got to blame the other party. And I kind of feel like Taylor Swift's responsible for kind of glamorizing that and the whole Reputation era idea of like, yeah, I can be in the wrong, but I'm in my Reputation era, so we don't need to talk about it. And I feel like her fans justify that too much.
Yeah.
And it's to a whole lot of bullshit on the internet, and I won't stand for it. So I'm going to have to put Taylor Swift fans through on that because they are like excruciatingly annoying. Do you have any more to add on that?
Not massively. I think Taylor fans win this every time, to be fair.
Yeah. Next up, okay, so this one's a bit more low key. Like Beyonce versus SZA.
Beyonce fans are chill. I love Beyonce fans. Doesn't that like?
So,
yeah.
From what I've heard about Beyonce, like I've never experienced it, but from what I've heard, Beyonce fans are meant to be like mental.
They are. They're mental in the same way that like Taylor fans are mental about Taylor or Lady Gaga fans are mental about
Yeah.
Lady Gaga. But
The
like,
only thing I ever, the only thing I've ever heard about, or like the only thing I know about SZA's fan base is that they are all just like they will not let you rest until you know that they're a fan of SZA. Do you know what I mean? They like need you to know they bump SZA.
to be fair, when I saw SZA this year, obviously that was full of SZA fans as you'd expect,
Mm.
and they were very much the kind of people that would cheat on someone and blame the other person.
Right. Okay. So like the Taylor Swift kind of
Yeah,
situation. Okay.
well, Beyonce fans, I feel like they're just bad bitches. Beyonce fans, like they're chill.
The thing is, I just feel like you're more likely. Like if I went on the internet now, if I went on Twitter now and tweeted something shit about SZA and something shit about Beyonce, like what's more likely to get a response quicker and the worst
Oh, you'll
response?
get Beyonce fans will come for you if
And
you
I
do not
think
like
that's what you've got
Beyonce.
to put it through on because I don't think either of us have too many experience with either of these fan bases. But just from like common, I feel like it's knowledge. I feel like it's just kind of common knowledge now that Beyonce's fan base is a bit mental.
Yeah, they're a lot more, I think they're a lot more hardcore Beyonce fans because like Beyonce's huge and she sells out
Yeah.
stadiums. But when was the last time Beyonce had like a big hit?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing for me as well is like, say what you want. This is an opinion, right? But I think Beyonce is shite. Like, I think Beyonce is shite. And like,
Mm.
does her music justify that fan base? Absolutely not. Does SZA's music justify her fan base? Probably slightly more. And that's
SZA's weird
kind
'cause
of
she's only been around for like the past sort of like 5 years, but
she's
she's
great though. That
become huge. She is great.
whenever I think of SZA, I think back to that Black Panther tune with Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, all the
All the
stars.
stars, unreal, unreal. But yeah, so
I wouldn't be
I'm
mad
putting
if you gave
Beyonce
this to
through.
Beyonce fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up is Paramore and Fallout Boy. This one's like very low key. This is going to be like a real like, what knowledge do we have of these fan bases?
I've never had bad experiences. I'm heavy into both of these fan bases, and I've never had bad
Yeah, same.
experiences with either of them. Really,
I feel like we've just got to kind of lay out what type of fan they are. I feel like Paramore fans are very chill
they're
because
both your at least in
because
2023 they're both your emo elder crowds. They're really chill. They're
yeah,
there for the music. Like
the thing is, so the only difference I would have is like Paramore fans, like Paramore have been through a lot of turmoil during their
yeah,
career, and their fans have had to sit through a lot of that. So I feel like now we're at a stage where Hayley Williams is just enjoying herself, making music, living her best life, and their fans are kind of doing the same. Whereas with Fallout Boy, they're kind of they've not had the same level of turmoil. They're still a bit iffy. Like they could Fallout Boy could drop a stinker as their next album. You know what I mean? And people could be up in arms about it. And I don't know. I feel like Fallout Boy is kind of. I feel like part of the Fallout Boy crowd. Whereas like I feel like every Paramore fan is very chill. I don't think there are really any mental ones. Whereas I feel like there's gonna be one or two Fallout Boy fans that were like also into Panic at the Disco, that like kind of read into things a bit too much,
theatre
watched
kids.
2017 Suicide Squad a few too many times, and are just a bit weird. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And there's also a thing in me, there's a part of me that feels like some of their older fans might be the same sort of guys that are listening to like Weezer. I get like
you're
if you
not
look back
wrong.
to like those early Fallout Boy videos, I do get Weezer vibes, and I think that is the only thing that I can base this on.
I feel like, early thought was like, oh, nice guys kind of music, ain't it?
100%. It's like, where is your boy tonight? Like that is
Yeah.
literally the nice guys finished last song, and I feel like Fallout Boy have got to kind of go it on it because like neither of these bands really have anything we can base this on, but I think Fallout Boy are more likely to have incels. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I feel like if you were gonna give incel points to any of them, Fallout Boy would get it, and that's the only real negative there. So I think Fallout Boy have got to take the cake. Next up, Fuck. So okay, so we're into like the second sort of category. So if you don't know, I kind of categorize these. So these are all the fans that you'd hear complaining about how shit Ticketmaster is, even though there's really not that much wrong with it.
Ticketmaster's
So
great.
that was Does first thought.
Yeah.
These guys are kind of like the really chronically online mental music fans. Like these are the sort of guys that like these are the sort of guys you'd see under bridges. And the first one of those is 100 Gex Charlie XCX.
100 Gex fans are so much worse than Charlie XCX fans.
Yeah.
100 Gex fans have a shower once a year. Like,
The thing is, I don't think Charlie fans are much better.
Charlie fans are just
And
the
the thing is
girls
with
and the
Charlie fans
gays.
as
Like,
well,
there's nothing else to it. If we slag off Charlie fans,
the
then we're
thing
just
is
going to
though
get
with Charlie
cancelled being
fans,
homophobic.
I feel like there's this pocket of Charlie fans that are kind of just the worst of the 1975 fans that have then crossed over.
Yeah, they kind of came out at different times. No, they both sort of blew up in sort of 2013, 2014. So there's a
But
lot
I
of
feel like
crossover
though,
there.
like there's going to be a lot of chill Charlie XCX fans, but I also think there's probably quite a lot of insufferable ones. Because Charlie does have that kind of reputation era. I don't give a shit about anything. I'm just going to do what I want. I'm a hot girl. Like, I feel like she's gonna have those kind of reputation era girlies.
Yeah, but I think her
Whereas
music backs up.
Yeah, the thing with 100 Gex. So in that Neopunk video that I referenced at the start, what this video is based on, they said something really good about 100 Gex that I just want to kind of reiterate. Is that 100 Gex fans are the kind of people who would have like, like plastic fake like children's car keys, like fake car keys.
Yeah.
100 Gex fans are the kind of people that would own them and kind of just wave them around in your face. And I think that's
100
that's a
Gex
pretty
fans are definitely the sort of people that would like Naruto run in the corridors at school.
creatures.
Yeah.
The other thing I remember about 100 Gex is, so when we had them at the Ritz, I wasn't there, but I checked Twitter the day after, and someone had posted a photo on Twitter of like just a massive bite mark.
Yeah, I saw that. Someone just bit someone at the 100 Gex gig.
And I remember just being like, that is 100 Gex fans all over. So I think I think they're another probably strong contender.
Yeah, they're going to go
As
far
well,
in
because,
this.
like, they love 100 Gex, but there's really like, I listened to that 100 Gex album this year, right? It was the worst shit I've ever heard.
They have a song with Charlie XCX, and it's a banger.
They also had a song with Fall Out Boy. And
Yeah, they do.
Why are these artists making songs with 100 Gex?
They opened for Boy Genius the other week. I think they opened for Boy Genius at Boy Genius's Halloween show in LA at the Hollywood Bowl. And that's such a weird crossover.
I think 100 Gex have got to go through.
Yeah.
And the next one is Carti versus Travis.
Carti fans are just kick Carti fans.
I think this might be the first disagreement, right? Because I honestly think, like, I know that Carti fans are like a meme, right? And I know everyone knows a meme like Carti fans. They're meat riders, right? But Travis fans are also meat riders. But the difference between them is that Travis meat riders, there's so many more of them. Like,
yeah.
because Travis has got that mainstream appeal, right? Which means that, like, you can have someone that has no idea about music, knows like nothing about what they're talking about, and they'll be meat riding Travis Scott without any justification. And they, like, not to say there is no justification, but they just can't give you a reason. They just think he's sick because he's Travis Scott.
Yeah. I think Travis Scott fans gas him up too much when he's not. When it's like the most mid thing you ever heard, they do gas it up way too much.
I feel like you're leaning towards Carti more. I feel like you've got to present me.
I am, and I'm mainly just kind of basing this on the fact that every single time Reading and Leeds post something, they just comment under announce Carti. 100%. But then when Carti announced his own tour, they didn't buy tickets for it.
These two very much are the kings of like Reading and Leeds post spam. Like whenever
Yeah.
Reading and Leeds post anything, it's always announced Carty, announced Travis. So it's very fitting. Like the thing is,
Travis Scott fans are bad, but like his music's all right. I know not about raising the music, but like I'm doing my head like, is the fan base justifying the music, or can the music justify the fan base? And like
mm,
Astroworld is an incredible album.
mm,
Utopia, I'm not. It's not grown on me as much as I hoped it would, but
yeah.
it's a decent record. Whereas Carti, he's got some banging songs,
I
but
don't think I've ever listened to him.
Carti,
I don't think I've listened to him.
I'm meant to go see him in like 2 weeks, and it's been postponed, which is kind of expected. Carti
Mm.
fans like they treat him like a god, even when he like isn't.
The
Like,
thing is, because sometimes you see it, and
I,
sometimes
hang on,
I'm convinced it's all ironic whenever I've seen it. But if it's like legit, then that's mental.
I'm giving it no. Carti fans are winning this for one reason, and it's because when he did his last tour in America, Rico Nasty opened, and Rico Nasty is incredible, and they booed her off stage multiple times on
Okay.
tour.
So L to the Cart. So Carty fans win based on the fact that they only listen to Playboy Carti. Like they're exclusively Carti, no one else essentially.
Yeah,
Um, Doja Cat versus Ice Spice, another low key one. I don't think any are too insufferable.
I don't think I've met anyone that's like a hardcore fan of either. Like,
Um, I feel like you're more likely to meet a hardcore Doja fan. I feel like you're more like I would consider myself a Doja fan. Like I'd happily
yeah,
see it.
I like Doja Cat. I think I Spice
From
fans like she's not got that much music out, so it's like when she's not really
mm,
put out anything that I've actually like violently hated.
yeah, that's the thing. So for me, like literally, the only thing that separates these two is the thing of like, are the fans like, does the music justify the fan base?
I
And I
think
think
Doja Cat's got bangers.
Doja's got bangers, but I think Ice Spice is shit.
I wouldn't be mad if I Spice
Like,
fans went
don't
through
get
on
me
this
wrong.
round.
Like, she's definitely got bangers. Like, she has bangers. She has one or two. But if you've ever listened to Ice Spice, like every flow is the same. It is, the Pink Pantheress one.
Yeah.
Every flow is just that, and people act like she's like on the same level as Nicki
I,
or
I,
Cardi,
I,
and I think that's mental.
I think there's a bit of irony though to like people gassing up Ice Spice that much. Like people know that it is just kind of a joke.
And the thing is, that's the thing as well. A lot of it's ironic, which kind of makes me want to go easier on those fans. But it still shouldn't have got to this point. Like I know people that unironically are like think Ice Spice is fit and like compare people to Ice Spice. And like, how is that that is not the level to that's not your level to base things on. Is are people as good as Ice Spice? Do you know what I mean? That's not a quantifying thing.
Yeah.
So Ice Spice. Oh, the next one's kind of a bit more general, a bit more overall. K-pop fans as a whole, or metal fans as a
K-pop
whole.
fans. K-pop fans are so much worse than metal fans.
Really?
Metal fans are chill. Metal fans are lovely.
Yeah, but
Like,
they hate no, the thing they hate
are we
everything that's
talking
not
like
metal.
are we talking about those hardcore metal fans that are like,
We're
if
talking
it's
like
not
down
like
no,
Metallica,
not
they
even
do not
like
care.
hardcore, but just people like the sort of people that go to download every year. Just like bracket it as that kind of bro, they
Like,
hate everything that's not metal.
it's not real music.
They
It's got
like
no guitars and drums.
they quantify what is good music based on how heavy it is. Do you know how mental that is? Like you can show them like you can play them like some new Bring Me the Horizon and it'd be perfectly heavy,
And they
perfectly
just won't
fine, but they're
care.
like, nah, it's not heavy enough, so I don't fuck with it.
It's like
Like
battle
what
jacket wearing metal fans.
yeah, that's the thing. It's not like with K-pop fans, yes, they're annoying, yes, they're really toxic and they spam everyone, but like they're not like ignoring other music because it's not Korean enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They don't write off other music for not being Korean enough. Like metal fans have this thing of just like if it ain't the heaviest shit they've ever heard, like that's their thing to quantify if it's good music is if it's heavy.
yeah. You make solid points, but I have met some very insufferable K-pop fans in my time.
They are bad on Twitter, aren't they?
I feel like K-pop fans will like dox you if you say something bad about a K-pop artist, whereas metal fans will just call you like a twat and just move on.
And it's where, oh mate, when they all have the little K-pop men as their profile picture, they've got some like
The little K-pop
name.
men.
It'll be like Tae Young, and then it'll say something like "I am seeing Inhaler next week," and then it'll be like "If you love hearts," and then it'll be like 2 days till my holiday, and that's their username. I'm like,
yeah, but most of them are like
sure.
15, 16. Like they've got time to go out of it, whereas metal fans are like already adults. Like you just move on by that point.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like K-pop fans, like everyone who I know that like speaks about themselves being a K-pop fan, it was always in like retrospect of be like, I was a fucking weirdo. There's probably like a few people that I went to school with that are still in that scene, but those are the kids that went down the other route of being like getting into Reddit and the dark web and just being obsessed with like gore films. So like they're just written off from society anyway. But the rest of them, I feel like the majority of people have like a K-pop phase, right? Whereas with metal fans, they are like an endless cash grab, really, because you can put on any event, have the same 6 bands, and these people are shilling out.
Yeah. Then
Like,
metal fans also like Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden are really boring.
that's the thing. I feel like the done thing, like the obvious answer is to put K-pop fans through, and the final of this be like Taylor Swift versus all of K-pop. But metal fans are bad, man. They are bad.
I feel like die-hard metal fans are bad, but then you do like most metal fans are just pretty chill, and they're just kind of there with their music and just kind of keep to themselves.
I also feel like in the scenes that we're in, we're more likely to encounter the annoying metal fan than the annoying K-pop fan.
Yeah.
Very seldom am I ever going on Twitter and tweeting about a fucking BTS music video or like a Ariana Grande video featuring BTS. Whereas like especially like we're talking about doing Download this year, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna get the worst of it. But like all my closest mates who are metal fans, they're all like mid-20s, like 25, 26, and you like I love them. You can talk to them about anything as long as it's not music that you think is heavy that they don't think is heavy.
Yeah.
I feel like you can talk to K-pop fans and you can recommend them music that's not K-pop.
And they'd listen to it.
And yeah, they'd listen to it and they'd take some value from it. They're not going to say to you like, no, this isn't Korean enough, right? Whereas metal fans, you've got to find like something insane before they even before they even turn their nose up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, put metal fans through. Why not?
Okay, Cortinas versus Catfish in the bottom.
Tina's fans. Oh Jesus, Cortinas fans are. Oh, they're not good. The Cortinas aren't good anyway. Like their fans are their fans treat Cortinas like the greatest indie band to ever come out of Manchester. And they put out one good album 15 years ago and have been riding that ever since.
Yeah. I feel like there's I've definitely encountered less Cortinas fans. But I feel like we've got to just make it clear first, like both of these bands on an objective level, neither of them are very good. Like Catfish aren't even the best. Like Catfish aren't amazing.
I love Catfish, but I'll admit that they put out like 5 songs in total,
mate, Catfish,
and then just did like 4 variations of each of those songs.
For like 5 whole years of my life, Catfish were my favorite band in the world. They've only just been overtaken recently, but even like that whole time, I was admitted like, yeah, it is the same. It just makes me happy.
I think Catfish gradually got worse, whereas Cortinas did the one album, and then was like, yeah, we're gonna now just be the most mid band you've ever heard.
I think the thing that separates these two for me is the thing of like Catfish aren't really around anymore. So you get like they're fake fans have jumped ship, but they're like deep integrated fans.
Delusional.
Really annoying at the minute.
With all the rumors of Catfish coming back, I'm not helping these at all because I've been fueling these rumors like for the past week.
But the thing with Cortinas is though, they are just like, it is just yob. Like, it is just chavvy little men.
I feel like
Like, I can't.
Cortinas is more like lemon in the Twitter profiles than
Yeah,
Catfish are.
100%, 100%. Because I feel like there's two different versions of Catfish fans, right? So you've got like you've got the Catfish fans up until 2017, which is mostly made up of like Tumblr girls that were listening to like Matty Healy and Halsey at the time, right? I feel like that's the pre-2017 Catfish fans. And then after the point where they made their third album, it changed and it just become like this widespread indie lemon success.
Yeah.
But I also feel like when I look at those guys, when I look at like the Lemon accounts, and they're like tweeting about Van McCann, in my head that's like they're passive Catfish at the bottom. They're not like Catfish at the bottom and deep fans, even though they probably will be. And Catfish is very 42s, but I just do feel like you're more likely to find like a cool like. But then again, like Tumblr girls aren't really the cool fans, are they? I feel like Catfish fans are a bit more chill though.
Yeah, I think they are because there's not much else to Catfish apart from the music. Like there wasn't that much
Like,
that kind of went on outside of like the albums and
yeah.
the gigs for Catfish, which
And
is
I
fair.
feel
I'm
like
saying not saying there's
with
much going about Cortinas, but
and I feel like with Catfish, there's very clearly not much to defend. Like no one's coming out and saying like Catfish are the best band in the world. Like I feel like everyone that listens to Catfish knows that it's a bit of a guilty pleasure thing.
yeah,
Whereas Cortinas fans actually think Cortinas are like fucking God's gift to music. Cortinas fans are the kind of people that think Jamie Webster should be headlining festivals.
type of people that think Cortinas should be headlining festivals.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? It's like, do you remember that tweet from Lauren where it was like Latham's threatened to headline Leeds Fest? I was like, that was definitely
Latham's are
like
good
someone who
though.
listens to Cortinas.
I like
I know,
we
but
know
like,
our thoughts on the Lathams are we like the Lathams.
Latham's are very much the exception to the rule, but like all those bands definitely do fall into like the Lemon category.
Yeah,
And I would rather, I feel like also, I don't know, I feel like people say Catfish gigs are bad to be in the crowd for. And actually, to be fair, I've had like one or two experiences at Catfish gigs where like people have just been twats. But I feel like if I'd gone to the same number of Cortinas gigs, I would have had trouble more.
yeah.
I feel like Cortinas fans, they love a flair.
Cortinas fans are like the football hooligans, aren't they?
Yeah, it literally is, and it's who do you want to be with? Like, I suppose it is that thing of like Cortinas fans are football hooligan indie, whereas Catfish fans are like Tumblr indie.
Yeah,
And I would rather be around Tumblr indie than football hooligan indie.
yeah, I agree.
So Cortinas are going through based on that. Oh,
I've just seen his next.
we don't even need to discuss this one. I'm just not. We can skip that immediately. It's Inhaler.
Oh, Taylor
Sam
fans are
Fender versus Wolf Alice. This is another one which I think is pretty easy.
Wolf Alice fans are insufferable. Wow,
Really?
I hate. To be fair, this is I'm also based on. I don't care about Wolf Alice, but the amount of people that I've seen who talk about Wolf Alice just being
The thing
like
is,
one of the
though,
best bands ever, it's like they're dull.
the thing is, though, for what they are, I do think Wolf Alice are quite underrated, and I think their newest album, like their most recent one, is one of my favorite albums ever. It were a proper experience. I remember I was at Centre Parks when that come out. I was sat like there were like woodland outside me gaff, and I was just listening to that Wolf Alice album for the first time. I don't even know why I put it on. I can't remember, but I just remember that experience being just like excellent. Whereas Sam Fender, like if we're talking about bands that don't justify their following.
I feel like everything that we just said about Cortinas, like times it by 100 and whack it on Sam Fender fans.
It's like think about it this way, like so for me, Cortinas are just like music for Scouse people. Sam Fender is the same, but it's music for Geordies.
Yeah, like if you're a Sam Fender fan, you've heard Geordie or you've heard 17 going under a few times.
It'd be like you go to a Sam Fender gig in fucking, I don't know, Exeter, right? Down south. You go to a Sam Fender gig and like 70% of them are wearing Newcastle shirts. Never watched Newcastle in their life. It's just like, it is that thing where it is like, it's forced football culture into indie music.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you we'd be in a better place as a society if Sam Fender didn't align himself with Newcastle in the way that he has.
yeah. It's it.
Because like
I don't care
I
about that
get
much about Sam Fender anyway, as well.
yeah, and I get that Oasis did the football thing and they were big Man City fans, but it was never to the level of this.
Mm.
This is like we were at Leeds Fest this year, right? And our group there was like 6 girls, and then me, Harry, and Archie. And all the girls rocked up on the Sam Fender Day in Newcastle shirts. They've never watched a Newcastle game in their lives. Couldn't give a fuck. Like it was mental to see, and they're all obsessed with him. One of the girls, so there was like a TikTok that his team posted after the gig, right? One of the girls in our group spotted herself like in the far reaches of the crowd in this TikTok, and like honestly, I thought she was having a heart attack. We had to stop for a second and let her sit down. Like, mate, they are bad at the Sam Fender fans.
Yeah, but the Wolf Alice fans are equally as bad though. Wolf Alice fans will be like, "Oh, Wolf Alice should be headlining Reading and Leeds or Glastonbury." It's like, no, they shouldn't.
Thing with
Like,
Wolf Alice fans, I feel like it's a very specific demographic. Is Wolf Alice
well,
fans? I feel like it
there's
is very
less
much
Wolf
like,
Alice fans.
and it's their demographic is like star sign girls, really.
Yeah,
And I feel like but like star sign girls, as much as I hate star sign like behavior, like I would much rather like because you can step away from star signs with a star sign girl, like you can talk about anything else. Whereas with Sam Fender fans, the only other shit they want to talk about is like other indie bands that happen to be Cortinas, the Lathams, the Snuts, like all the shit indie bands. That's all Sam Fender fans want to talk about. Are shit indie bands.
mm. Yeah. Put Sam Fender through on this round.
Because I feel like even if you can say Wolf Alice are annoying, but I don't think they've had the cultural impact that Sam Fender
Other than
has.
that, yeah,
Like, so it's just more noticeable and it's done more bad. Like, Sam Fender's fans have done more bad than Wolf Alice because they've turned society into what it is. Blur versus Oasis.
I don't have that much opinion on Blur or their fans. I feel like I like the most I've ever had to deal with Blur fans was when the Wembley gigs got announced for this year, and even then, like, I don't care.
I feel like Blur versus Oasis is like the difference between the Lathams fans and like fucking courting fans. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of that like yobbish. Oasis have that kind of yob energy, whereas Blur have that kind of dorky, like Weezer energy, like Manchild energy.
Yeah,
I feel like Blur fans are more likely to be going like art school
Oasis
and
fans,
wearing like
again, they're like very football hooligan. Blur and like Blur is
yeah.
just like it's like your
And I
mate
know that like
just has a
weird
record.
art, like I know that weird art kids are kind of insufferable. Actually, I don't know. I was about to say like I know art kids are insufferable, but I would rather spend time with like the football yobs. But I don't know if I would. I think I would rather go out on the piss with like some Oasis fans than go and sit in a fucking field with a Blur fan and drink tinnies underage. Because that's what Blur fans are doing, right?
You met a Blur
If you're a
fan
Blur fan,
under the age of
probably like
18?
I feel like if you're no, dude, I feel like if you're a Blur fan, you're most likely like 17, and your whole thing about being a Blur fan is because it's like kind of non-conformist that everyone else likes Oasis and you like Blur, and you think it's really non-conformist to like Blur rather than Oasis.
Yeah,
I feel like that's kind of the thing, and I feel like it is the thing of like working class, like middle class divide, where it is Blur is the middle class man's band, whereas Oasis are very working class.
yeah. I've guess again, I'm not sure about Blur, but Blur fans are
I would
probably
probably, to be fair, like I would probably peg myself as more of a Blur fan than an Oasis fan based on what we've described. But I don't want to spend time with other people like that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think we've got to give it Blur
yeah.
because I think Oasis fans are fucking insufferable. because have you seen the Nebworth documentary where that guy
With
from
the old one?
Halifax and he's got like the new one.
Nah.
He's like some guy from Halifax and he's got an old pub like in his garden dedicated to Liam Gallagher. It's fucking mental. But
Oasis are
I don't
good.
know. That's made it hard. It's just that thought. Who do you?
I feel like
put through?
Oasis fans are more hardcore about Oasis. Blur fans like, yeah, Blur alright. Like they got some
Yeah,
good songs.
like
Well,
Oasis fans
Oasis
are going to be
fans.
annoying about Oasis, whereas Blur fans are just going to be annoying people.
I love Oasis. I love Liam Gallagher, but
Mm.
Oasis had like two good albums, right?
Okay.
Blur, I prefer Gorillaz. I'm gonna be honest, I prefer Gorillaz.
I
I
don't
know
know
he's
who to put through.
nothing in this.
You're gonna have to
Let's go
take
Blur
the lead.
fans, just because I prefer
Go Blur
Oasis
fans.
generally.
Okay. Okay. Weezer versus My Bloody Valentine.
I've never met anyone who's like actually hardcore into either of these. Like Weezer fans are like
I don't.
they've got some bangers Weezer do, but I've never met anyone that actually like die hard cares
I
about
would.
Weezer.
I don't die hard care, but I would consider myself a Weezer fan. Like I would consider myself an enjoyer of Weezer's music, at least some of it. Bloody Valentine have more actual unironic fans than Weezer,
But
definitely.
the thing is, my Bloody Valentine put out. I've only ever put out like three albums. They put out like two in the 90s and one like 10 years ago. They've done
Mm.
nothing else. And even like people that are fans of My Bloody Valentine know they have one good album. And whenever you talk to anyone that likes My Bloody Valentine, it's always talking about Loveless. It's never talking about the
Yeah, and I think
self-titled or the one that came
as well,
before.
whenever you bring up shoegaze, the first band that anyone like, I'd bring up shoegaze and someone would be like, "Oh, like My Bloody Valentine," and then I've got to have that conversation every single time of like, I've never listened to My Bloody Valentine, so I can't tell you. So that's just like a
I think
personal
people
grievance.
know that they're like a really important band, but I don't think like if they
Like
announce a
people know that
tour
they're an
tomorrow,
important
it's
band, but
not selling out instantly.
no, exactly. The thing with Weezer is like, yes, their fans are weird, and yes, it's like a meme, but I don't think they're annoying. I won't. Like, I'm not
I
really
think
calling. I don't think Weezer fans are annoying.
Weezer fans are
I
in
think
on
that's
the joke.
a lot of them are, but the only thing that I would say is annoying about Weezer fans is Weezer fans love to tell you that they're Weezer fans. It's like a reaction thing for them. They get a kick out of the reaction to be like, I like Weezer, and like people, and like they'll get a kick out of your reaction to that. So that's kind of annoying, but I don't think they're too annoying. I think they're just kind of funny. They're just kind of dorky. Like they're either in on the joke or they are the butt of the joke, but I don't think either is particularly annoying.
Yeah, I'd put through Weezer fans on this just because
Really?
again, like I've never really and no, I couldn't go on to like I couldn't go into a room full of people to start on a conversation about either of these, but
Yeah.
like there's more Weezer fans and there's more people trying to defend Weezer being weird, nerdy, silly
Is
band
anyone
than
defending Weezer? Like, or do we all know at this point that they're just shit,
I
but we're
think
just kind of actively
mm,
we're going along with it until they release something that's good? Because
y-
that's my theory of Weezer is that their whole shtick is right. So after the first two albums, so no one bought the second one. Their second album is like their best album, right? It's unreal. No one bought it. So after that, they just kind of said to each other, like, let's just make worse and worse albums over time and see how long people keep buying it for.
yeah.
That's my theory about Weezer, and I think their fans are just kind of locked into that cycle, and I think they're just a bit deluded because I don't think it's ever going to get better.
Yeah, I think more people are in on it though.
And that's the thing, though, with My Bloody Valentine, I feel like you're more likely to have that annoying kid that really wants to defend them.
But My Bloody Valentine is like people that want to like act like they listen to niche music when it's not.
Yeah, it's the sort of people that are like, oh, I really like Pixies. It's that type of shtick, right? It's kind of the weird artsy loser kid. Smokes way too much weed. And I feel like I'm more likely to have a laugh with a Weezer fan though.
Yeah,
Because I feel like
absolutely.
you can take the piss out of a Weezer fan and they kind of get it. Whereas if you like if you're going to take the piss out of someone for liking My Bloody Valentine, they're just kind of going to be offended and try and convince you that they're right and you're wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like the conversation changes though based on who you're going against, because like we're comparing them on different things. We're comparing them like currently we're comparing these two on based out on how like carefree their fan bases are, like how much their fan base is going to care. But when it comes to like a Radiohead versus Weezer situation, that is literally just going to be who's the bigger virgins. Do you know what I mean? So
I just see Nirvana's up next as well.
Part of me wants to avoid that, but part of me's also like, Weezer haven't done anything too annoying.
Yeah. Again, even My
I
Bloody
don't know.
Valentine.
I don't know. I feel like My Bloody Valentine are more annoying, but I kind of just want to have the discussion of Weezer Radiohead. But I think we've got.
Are we putting My Bloody
We've got to
Valentine
put
through?
MVP. I feel like we've got.
Alright, let's do it.
It makes more sense. Okay, Radiohead versus Nirvana.
Oh, you know what? Radiohead fans are. Nirvana fans.
Nirvana fans have a way too hardcore. Like that's
Yeah,
my first
Nirvana
thing.
fans
Is
like the Nirvana like, were the greatest band to ever touch the planet. And they were
immediately
good,
like
but
Nirvana. Looking at those two, who am I going to have a better time with? Radiohead fans, because I feel like they're a bit more chilled out.
Radiohead fans are just like really depressed.
I feel like a lot of Radiohead fans as well can laugh at the fact that they listen to Radiohead. It's like a bit of a similar vibe to like a Reputation era thing, where girls kind of have their I'm just in my Reputation era, so I'm going to be a bad bitch. Whereas lads are just like, oh, I'm just going to smoke loads of weed and be sad. I guess I'm in my Radiohead era. And I feel like that's kind of the extent of Radiohead fans, apart from the ones who think they're really smart and they're like trying to explain to you all this fucking all these mad time signatures, and they're trying to explain why In Rainbows is the greatest album ever made or some bollocks.
The problem we've got is both of these bands. I know they're obviously like from 20 odd years ago. I know Radiohead's still kind of putting out stuff now, or still active for obvious reasons why Nirvana isn't. But they're both kind of also like massive sort of blow ups on TikTok into a younger crowd as well. Like Exit Music for a Film went massive on TikTok not too long ago. Like Come As You Are, Lithium, and Teen Spirit were big
Something in
TikTok
the way
songs at one
that,
point.
man.
Yeah.
For me, that is like looking at that. Radiohead is like they're a band that were massive at the time, and the longer they've gone on, so like they've not had. There's nowhere near as much time since the last Radiohead album from the last Nirvana album, right? But as time have gone on, Radiohead fans have become a bit more chill, and I feel like people are just happy to accept that Radiohead might be coming back. They might not. We'll see what happens. People have got over all the kind of Tom York drama.
Yeah.
Whereas with the Nirvana thing, it's like the longer the Nirvana stuff goes on, the more annoying it gets.
Yeah, I think Nirvana fans are worse.
Because I feel like the more you try and justify how good Nirvana are, the worse, like the more cracks that you see in their work. And I feel like it actually makes, like, I feel like at the time Nirvana would have been great, but because we've analyzed it so much now and we know so much more about production, like Nirvana's just kind of shit. Like,
yeah.
I think, like they're fine, don't get me wrong, but they are not what people who gas them up to be say they are.
They've got some good. They're very important and influential band, but like I've never cared that Foo Fighters are better.
In any other circumstances, I would be like, yeah, Radiohead fans would gaslight you beyond belief, but I think Nirvana fans probably would as well.
Nirvana fans would shoot up a school.
I feel like Nirvana fans like want to be Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
I feel like there's very much in the same way that like Radiohead fans want to be depressed, right? And they want to be a bit weird. Nirvana fans want to be Kurt Cobain, and that is more annoying than just kind of wanted to be a bit of a loser.
Yeah.
Nirvana go through. Do you know what? That's drastic because I was expecting that, like, for a semi-final, I was expecting
Radiohead.
A Weezer Radiohead, but neither of them have got through. Who's up next? Are we at the bottom of the list? Yeah, we're at the bottom. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list. So the next one is Phoebe Bridgers' Claro. You will know more about this than me, I'm assuming.
Right, I don't know that much about Claro. I've heard one Claro song in my life, and it's the Electric Ladyland recording of Bags. It's one of the greatest musical
Literally, same.
experiences you
Yeah,
can ever have.
yeah,
But
I back that.
Phoebe fans, I feel like Phoebe fans are pretty chill. Like I'm basing more this on sort of
Yeah,
Boy Genius and Phoebe's solo stuff, to be
I
fair.
have seen some sus tweets though from like Boy Genius and Phoebe Bridgers fans, man. I have
Boy,
seen some like sus behavior from them. Like when people are constantly talking about like, oh, they need to cut ties with Matty Healy, they need to do this, do that. They've kind of got a bit of a parasocial element.
yeah, I feel like Phoebe Bridgers fans and Boy Genius fans, that they are more parasocial than Claro fans. But like I've not had any experiences with Claro fans. I know like one
From what
hardcore
I've
Claro fan, and
from
she's chill.
So I would imagine Claro fans are kind of similar to like a Bieber Doobie fan base.
Yeah,
Maybe I don't know, but like I get the vibe. They're kind of they're kind of obsessed because you hear a lot of talk about Claro. For so like I've never listened to Claro, but I've heard so much about this girl. They gas her up a lot.
I feel like
But I also
they
feel
gas up a lot. But again, I've only rarely ever heard that recording of Bags. I've heard like a few other little bits on like TikTok and stuff.
yeah.
But her music's like it is solid, and
To
I feel
be
like
fair, like I can't even do the thing of like her music doesn't justify it because the one song I've heard is great.
I've heard that, and you probably would have heard Sophia. It went massive on like TikTok in like 2020. There's a
Um,
lot of Strokes influence with Clara, which is quite cool because I like the
I
Strokes.
feel like we kind of need to. I feel like it's kind of obvious that we need to get Claro out just to save us talking any more about her. But also
Yeah,
because
let's
we
get
just
put
can't
Phoebe through.
like.
So we don't have anything to add about Claro, but like Phoebe fans,
Yeah,
again, they're the type of fans that would camp for a concert, which immediately just like knocks them down a bit.
like yeah, I feel like Claro fans are just kind of your classic bedroom pop girls.
Yeah,
Kind of weird, kind of annoying, but it's not
but
like
harmless.
parasocial. It's not. It's yeah. It's completely harmless, and you can totally avoid like involvement with that. Whereas the parasocial thing of Phoebe's gets onto my timeline, and sometimes I just look and I wonder, what are they doing? So Phoebe goes through, and then the next one is Lil Peep versus Juice WRLD.
Peep
Who
fans are
has?
so much worse than Juice WRLD fans.
And the thing is,
Peep fans were like very self-destructive, whereas
yeah,
Juice fans were a lot more chill. Like Lil Peep fans and like XXX Tentacion fans were like they're both the same. They're like wannabe nice guys who will like hang around by themselves like the corridors at school. Again, like Naruto running down the corridor, and then wondering when no one likes them. Whereas Juice WRLD fans like
yeah.
the Juice WRLD's music was so good. I love Juice WRLD, but again, the
Also, like,
fans were just
I think
chill.
Juice WRLD has. I think Juice WRLD's like. I think Juice WRLD's lucky here as well because I feel like with Lil Peep and X, there was stuff like there was controversial things about both of their characters, which
That the
meant
fans would defend.
their their dick riders had to kind of defend them more and meat ride them harder. Whereas with Juice WRLD, as far as I know, there's nothing really that incriminating that
I,
anyone has to defend him for. Like I've never heard anyone having to defend Juice WRLD.
the, the 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 thing about Juice WRLD, I think more people were there as well for the music because there was nothing going on outside of the music. Like, there wasn't again
Yeah,
any
exactly.
controversy. Juice WRLD fans were just there for the music, whereas Lil Peep fans were there's a lot more going on outside of that they were
Exactly.
involved in.
Yeah, so it's like you can. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're not gonna ever have your timeline filled with people being like free Juice WRLD in the way that you would get people like free X, let's say
Mm,
that sort of shit. I feel like you're just less likely to have like meat riding with consequences. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Okay, so I think Lil Peep goes through,
yeah, absolutely.
but I don't think he'll last long
Lil Peep fans and Phoebe
against
fans
Phoebe
to be an
Bridgers, if I'm honest.
interesting.
So we're into round two now. So now we can speed up. been going for like 55 minutes as well, so it's probably a good time to speed up. Harry Styles, Taylor Swift is not a good place to try and speed up because this is.
These are like equal levels, aren't they?
It is like the male versus female. That's what it is. They're just like equal. They even each other out. I do think Taylor wins, though.
Taylor Swift fans have a victim complex, which Harry Styles fans don't have, and I think that just puts them through.
Exactly, mate. That's exactly what I was trying to say earlier when I was on about the thing about like just blame everyone else on your music. It's always got to be like with Taylor Swift's music, she can can never write about like a normal breakup, is it? It's always
I'm
got
very
to be
surprised you didn't put Kanye fans in this. Kanye fans would be an
this is going to sound like
one.
really out of pocket, but I feel like Taylor fans, like with Taylor's music, it's always someone else that's at fault, but it's not just always someone else at fault. It's always like deeper than it really is. Like she could break up, like she never written a song about a normal amicable breakup. It's always got to be like, you manipulated me.
Yeah.
You psychologically tormented me. And I feel like there's a lot of negativity to spread. And that's transferred into like Olivia Rodrigo's music is kind of like that now. Billy's music's kind of like that. And I feel like Taylor Swift is where that started.
Yeah.
Whereas Harry Styles, I feel like his music, even though his fans are annoying as fuck, I feel like his music is very much about spreading positivity.
Yeah. I mean, his fans don't do that, but his music is.
Like, in the way that he backs his music, but he doesn't defend it. Like, his fans back his music and they don't, like, kind of... They don't feel the need to tell you that it's really good. They just have their own personal favourites and they're really protective over those.
Yeah.
But they're not, I don't feel like Harry Styles fans are trying to convince anyone else that Harry's really great. I feel like you're very much free to make up your own opinion.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor fans, like, if you don't think Taylor's great, they will jump on and try and convince you that she is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Taylor fans are winning this.
Got it. Beyonce, Fall Out Boy.
Beyonce.
It's got to be Beyonce, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything for Fob.
Oh,
100 Gex versus Carti. This is bad.
These are like the same sort of people, though. I feel like these are like very similar fan bases. Like,
yeah,
I think
all
Carti
kids.
fans
it's all
are
like
worse
toddlers.
so than Gex. Like, Gex fans again, they kind of know there's a bit of irony and a joke there. I don't think Carti fans do. Carti fans are like 100% serious that like Carti is the greatest rapper alive.
I know, but at the same time, it's like I feel like 100 Gex fans are way more extreme.
No, Carti fans are a different breed of.
But also, like Carti, like you said as well, Carti's music's like fine. It doesn't warrant the dick riding it gets, but it's like it is fine.
It's listenable.
Whereas 100 Gex is literally like the ratio of how good it is to how many fans it is. 100 Gex is easily like the bigger difference. Do you know what I mean? Like their music is horrific, yet they've still got a decent amount of fans.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I do think the thing is, it's like I don't know if I'd rather have 100 Gex fans like wave plastic toys in my face, or whether I'd rather listen to Carti with a Carti fan.
I think I could easily scrap like 10, 100 Gex fans in a row, but I don't think I could. I think me versus like one Carti fan would be a fair fight.
The thing that really sells it for me, right? The thing that I think is a big quantifying force is like outside of a conversation about Playboy Carti, what are their fans like? Like, can you have a normal convo with a Playboy Carti fan?
No. Kevin Doyle conversation with Gex fans.
100 Gex fans don't strike me as the sort of people you could have a conversation, like a normal conversation outside of 100 Gex with.
I think you could have a normal conversation with Carti fans, and I think you could have 100 Gex fans. Like I know a few Carti fans that I can't have just a conversation with.
Yeah, you can at least have like just a conversation about something totally different, unrelated with a Carti fan, right? Whereas 100 Gex fans, not that they try and bring the conversation to 100 Gex every time, but like I feel like they're just annoying in day-to-day convo.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can't be insufferable about. I feel like 100 Gex fans just eat too many sweets and then just fucking bounce around and climb up your walls. And,
They're like hyper kids, aren't they?
Yeah, like, and they like chew on your wallpaper and shit. Whereas I feel like Carti fans, at least there's a level of like, okay, what else do you have going for you in life?
Yeah,
So, like for me, that's Gex.
Gex fans put them through.
Also, I feel like I know a few Carti fans, and I feel like they're probably quite chill people, actually. Like away from the online space. Ice Spice versus all of metal.
Metal fans up, put metal fans through.
Yeah,
Like again,
just
I
because there's
Spice
a high,
doesn't
like just
have
because.
like serious fans.
No, exactly, and I feel like there's just like a higher quantity of metal fans,
Yeah,
and they're just kind of a lot more vocal. I feel like you can, like, if you were to call Ice Spice shit, I don't think any of her fans are gonna question it. I think they're gonna be like, yeah, fair enough. He's just a hater. Whereas I feel like with metal fans, like if you say someone they like is shit, or if you book someone else to play the download lineup that's not one of 6 bands that play it every year, they're like, fuck you. You don't know anything.
yeah.
So yeah, metal fans easily take that. Tina's versus Inhaler.
Oh,
Closer than the last Inhaler.
closer, but it's still Inhaler fans. And the Blackpool situation proves it's Inhaler fans.
Yeah, and look, I don't think Cortinas should be let off. I definitely think that round 2 is very early to get rid of Cortinas. I feel like they're like a round 4 band, but Inhaler are like on track to win this right now.
It's going to kind of like Inhaler and Taylor Swift fans, and that's going to be where the
Like
fun conversation comes in.
Like Inhaler are basically set here to take up Harry Styles' this slot. That's what this is. Like Harry Styles walks, so Inhaler could run. Fender versus Blur.
Fender.
Easily. My Bloody Valentine versus Nirvana.
I think these two are the same fan base, aren't they? But I think Nirvana
I
fans.
think Nirvana go through based on the whole like, oh, what's your favorite Nirvana song thing?
Yeah, Nirvana fans are the sort of person that'd be like, oh, you've got a band on your t-shirt, name 3 songs.
Yeah, literally. Okay, so Nirvana, Phoebe versus Lil Peep.
Peep.
I think it's Phoebe. Yeah. Okay. So now we're getting into the G. Oh shit! What have we done?
These two went at it over summer. That's the thing, because like obviously the Eras tour and the Renaissance tour were going at the same time, and these two, that was like the big thing over summer on Twitter.
Who won that? Who won that Twitter beef? Was there like a clear fan base that were just taking?
I don't think anyone actually won or lost, because like Beyonce's, I think Taylor's fans lost because Beyonce's tour did bigger numbers, but I think it also came down to Beyonce saw the bigger numbers because she did the entire world at once, where Taylor just did America.
Who had the better tweets?
The Beyonce fans did.
So yeah,
the girls and the gays are coming out with some funny tweets during that.
Okay, 100 Gex versus all of metal. Now this is a proper matchup. It's like actual like children versus people who just like hate everything. Like it's people that want noise versus people that hate noise. Do you know what I mean?
I think
the thing, right? The one defense I'll give him, is at 100 Gex gig, right? At least they'll actually fucking want a pit. Whereas at a metal gig, they're also like fucking in their mid-20s and like too old for it, that they just fucking stand off on the side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's meant to be a metal gig. The whole point of metal is like it's meant to be like, I agree, fucking hitting everyone. And they all want to stand off on the side because they're all so old.
Oh, give it to metal fans.
No, and the thing is, metal fans are annoying. But like, also, I can't. Can I put metal fans above 100 Gex fans and like who's worse?
I'd rather have a conversation with a metal fan than 100 Gex. Than a singular Gex.
Yeah. The thing is, metal fans, they piss me off. But yeah, you're right. I would rather, like, you can talk to metal fans about anything else, and they're sweet. They're wonderful people. Some of the nicest people you'll ever meet, actually. Like, when you go download, that just proves everything. But very fucking annoying of metal fans. Just open your fucking musical landscapes. Try some new tunes out. Would it kill you? But yeah, 100 Gex have got to go through. There's no, like, I would feel so bad saying that metal fans are more insufferable than 100 Gex fans and then purchasing download tickets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a battle of the Titans. This
It's still Inhaler. It's still Inhaler.
it's still Inhaler, but
It's close.
I think we've got to. I do think we've got to address this one.
The thing is, I've never actually heard stories of some Fender fans camping for gigs. I've heard stories of Inhaler fans camping for gigs, so that's just again.
Yeah, but the Sam Fender fans camped at Leeds Fest, right? At Leeds Fest, the Sam Fender fans camped. They all missed Foles, who were the best band on the lineup.
Yeah, you know what? That actually is a fair point.
That's fucking criminal.
But that actually, when I was at Reading, Chelsea, I did Reading this year, not Leeds. When I was speaking to people sort of around Inhaler time, more people were kind of going, "Oh yeah, the music's not good. They're just really fit," rather than like.
The thing is, for me, it's like with these two, they make very similar music. They look very like Sam Fender could be a member of Inhaler. He's got that look about him. They make very similar music. Their music's both fairly decent, but also not great. The thing is, with Inhaler, right? This is the way I'm going to try and break this down. Is like with Inhaler, there's 4 of them, right? So, for every member of Inhaler, like who's got more fans? Because if Sam Fender, like, do you know what I mean? It's like there's 4 members in Inhaler. There's 1 Sam Fender, right? Are Sam Fender's fans annoying enough to take on 4 Inhaler fans and come out victorious? Like, with the size of artist that Sam Fender is, they really should be able to.
I get into beefing more Inhaler fans than I do Sam Fender fans. So like, if I talk to a Sam Fender fan and I'm like, "Oh, I don't really care about him," they go, "You know, it's what it is." But I feel like if I do it with Inhaler, like, "Oh, your opinion is wrong." Yeah. Inhaler are incredible. They're not, though.
The thing with Sam Fender fans is they're just really fucking stupid. Is Sam Fender fans. Like, they're fucking dumb as shit. Like,
I'd rather have a pint with a Sam Fender fan than an Inhaler fan.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, because it's always their defense is, "Oh, you've got to see him live to get it." And it's like, I've seen him live 3 times. One of them, he was very good, to be fair. But the other 2, he was shit.
Yeah, but I
was like, no,
whenever,
you've just not seen him live at the right time.
But like when everyone's got all the stage production and the darkness and the lights and the sound slightly louder than the other acts, it's good, ain't it?
The thing is, though, Inhaler, they are pretty good live.
Did you see him at Leeds this year or not?
Yeah, they were great. They're
boring at Reading.
And I was on my own for the majority of that gig as well. So for them to still have a good time, especially in a crowd that were that dead for Wet Leg.
They're so boring at Reading. Like,
Inhaler easily take it for me.
Inhaler fans take it. Just again, I'm going back to the Blackpool thing now, because that was such a funny situation to just sort of sit and watch.
It is that thing of like both artists make very similar music, and I feel like they do have very similar fan bases, but Inhalers are just more.
I think you hear more horror stories coming out of Inhaler gigs than you do about Sam Fender gigs.
Yeah, 100%. The only thing, like with Sam Fender, because like every gig you're gonna get him, he's gonna stop the gig every single gig without fail. He's gonna stop the gig and be like, "Someone's hurt." Whereas if Inhaler, like they're not, like they probably do that every now and then. But they're not going to do it every gig. And the thing that's annoying about their fans is if it was up to their fans, they would do it every gig.
Yeah.
And that's the most annoying thing about Sam Fender gigs. And Inhaler fans wish that could be every Inhaler gig.
I think Inhaler fans think it's about them and not... Inhaler fans think it's about them and not about Inhaler.
Inhaler fans think that Inhaler owe them something.
It's like, because Inhaler are probably like the smallest band on this list, and look how far they're coming.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about their fan base.
But that just shows everything, doesn't it? Because like, if Inhaler's fans are that bad that they make Inhaler look like, I would like, do you know what I mean? Inhaler would beat Beyonce here easily.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like Inhaler are the smallest band on this list, yet their fans gassed them up so beyond belief that we're even having these discussions in the first place. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't even have to have the conversation about like who's got a worse fan base out of like Taylor Swift and Inhaler, but we just know that is going to be the debate, and it could go either way.
Yeah.
Nirvana, Phoebe Bridgers.
Oh,
pretty straightforward for me. I'm saying Nirvana.
Yeah, I'll back it just for the sake of time.
Um,
I don't have that much to add about Phoebe fans that I've
Phoebe
already
fans are
said.
quite annoying, but I think round 3 is far enough for Phoebe to go where I
Yeah,
can go. Okay, they've kind of they've done what they needed to do. Oh, okay, second to last round now.
there we go to
Taylor
Taylor
Swift
Swift.
versus 100 Gex.
Taylor fans still.
The thing is, like, I know that like it's so obvious that it's Taylor fans. I feel like we should justify it more than we are, but it is so obvious that it's Taylor
I don't
fans.
think there's anything we can add about Taylor fans we haven't already said.
It's like the parasocial element. That's what we've not talked about. I'll tell you what. If you're a Taylor Swift fan and you are if you're tweeting telling her to break up with her current boyfriend, or telling her this person is who you need to be in conversation with, or telling her fucking, oh, this guy's done loads of bad things, you need to break up with him. If you're one of those people tweeting that, you're a fucking idiot, because she doesn't know who you are. She's not going to read it. She knows these people better than you, right? I can guarantee you, fucking random Twitter user, that Taylor Swift has spent more time with Matty Healy than you have. Therefore, the chances are she knows a bit more about him than you. And if she thinks he's not a racist, you should be inclined to believe that because she knows him better than you. You fucking idiots.
Yeah, no,
That's all.
Taylor fans are bad about the parasocial stuff, and they all think that like that stupid
They think they need
Taylor
a
Swift
say.
fan union.
They think they need a say, bro, and they think she owes them something. Oh, it pisses. But they're the same people that'll be like, "Oh, Taylor's so hard done by XYZ person." I'm like, "You're worse."
Mm. Ta ta
Taylor goes through.
yeah, Taylor fans are awful.
So, like, 100 Gex fans, we've said, like, they're fucking annoying, fuck me. But we've said enough on, like, that. We have actually covered everything there, whereas we could keep going with Taylor. Inhaler versus Nirvana. We knew it was happening.
This is the funniest
I'm
final
surprised
round.
Nirvana have got this far. Do you know what it is? I'm surprised Nirvana have got this far, but I feel like they've had fairly easy matches up until this point. Like, Phoebe and My Bloody Valentine and Radiohead should have really taken them out.
The thing is that the Radiohead and Nirvana fans, like Radiohead fans, there's more there to justify.
Mm. The
Like
thing is, as
Nevada
well,
fans
even
always,
if, like,
Nevada fans always like, oh, what if though? And it's like, well, no, not what if, right?
yeah,
He's dead. Move on.
like Radiohead, if we'd have put them through all the times that we put Nirvana through, like Radiohead would have beat
I
Phoebe.
think, I think Radiohead would have beat
Like
My
if
Bloody
we'd have put
Valentine. They would have beat Phoebe. Yeah, I think they would have both got to the
if
same point.
Radiohead through, they'd have beat My Bloody Valentine, they'd have beat Phoebe, and but I still don't think they would have beaten Inhaler. Do you know what I
No,
mean? I
because
still think
Radiohead fans are
Inhaler
middle-aged
fans.
men and Inhaler fans are literal children.
I still think the Inhaler fans would have beaten Radiohead. Anyways, I think this was always going to happen.
Inhaler,
Taylor Swift versus Inhaler.
Taylor Swift. Oh, two of the most insufferable, worst groups of people I've ever met. But Taylor's music is better than Inhaler's.
Thing is, I'm struggling to go with recency bias, like not to go with recency bias and just blast Inhaler through. But they really are bad.
I feel like
But the thing is, I know that the Taylor fans are just as like that. That I know that both of them are really bad.
I
I
feel
actually don't know who's worse.
I feel like Taylor fans are bad, but then you've also like obviously when the Eras tour was popping on, and there was like obviously people doing like the friendship bracelets and stuff, and like like I think when you get to the shows, there's more sort of community and friendship and stuff. Whereas at Inhaler gigs, I've never been to an Inhaler gig. I don't want to go to an Inhaler gig, but all I get on Twitter, and because there's just a lot of people that I know that are 75 fans of Inhaler fans, there's so
Everyone
much
hates
just
each other.
negativity, and it just seems like no one's actually having a good time at an Inhaler show.
The the thing that I feel like puts Inhaler in favor for me is like at least their music. But like Taylor's got good music, but Inhaler's music is predominantly good. Do you know what I mean? Like Taylor's got good music here and there. She's got some great albums, but I would say her music's predominantly like mid, whereas Inhaler's music is predominantly good.
Inhale, the first album was solid. Cuts and Bruises.
Their second album is definitely a grower, and it's got some of the best stuff on it. The only thing that is actually now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, yeah, Inhaler's music is good, but their fans aren't defending it. That's not the reason Inhaler fans are annoying. Like, I rarely ever see Inhaler fans trying to defend Inhaler's music. It's always, every time, it's about gig behavior. That is literally what this comes down
It's
to.
always about stuff that isn't the music. It's always something's gone on a gig, something's done elsewhere.
I think the way to split these two up is like Taylor fans. Their whole thing is they love defending the music and they love defending Taylor Swift. Whereas Inhaler fans, they're annoying because they hate each other and the band.
Yeah.
Like Inhaler fans hate Inhaler, they hate each other.
Inhaler fans don't seem like they want to be fans of Inhaler. Whereas Taylor fans, at least, like, I feel like there's more a sense of like, yeah, I know Taylor's the biggest artist on the planet, but people there they want to be Taylor fans.
That's the thing. Taylor fans are deluded, but at least they believe that, like, at least they believe that what they think is right. Whereas with Inhaler fans, they hate Inhaler and they want to get out, but for some reason they're just in there causing negativity for everyone else. And I honestly think that could put Inhaler as the winner.
Yeah.
Because I think, like you said, the thing about like Taylor fans want to be fans of Taylor. There's a bit of a community there. And they'll at least believe her music is good.
I feel like Taylor fans, it's a very, because obviously a lot of Taylor fans are just people that listen to the radio, or they know like Anti-Hero and Bad Blood and style, like the big hits. So it's not as like, whereas like Inhaler fans, they probably know every single Inhaler. I know there's only 2 albums, like they know every single Inhaler song. They're more
I feel like
invested into them.
Inhaler fans are more likely to be like really invested. Whereas Taylor Swift, you've probably got people outside of like the cult.
They're more casual fans.
So like you've got people that consider themselves Taylor fans that are like more casual. Whereas Inhaler fans, you're in or you're out. And if you're in, you want to be out. So I think like the Taylor fans, not only is there that community thing, and like you're more likely to find someone that's not insufferable in the Taylor fan base. But also, they're like, their whole thing, like the reason they're annoying in the first place is because they at least believe in what they're defending. Whereas with Inhaler fans, they're annoying because they hate what they're defending and they just want to make everyone else hate it.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like Taylor Swifts are annoying out of over positivity. Inhaler fans are annoying out of negativity. And I think that's what's going to win them it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be. And I wanted to avoid recency bias, but the Blackpool thing is not the first issue we've heard about Inhaler. And like, it basically like Blackpool. I swear we get that after every show from Inhaler.
As of recording, there's a show tonight for Inhaler, and even before the doors opened, all I was seeing on Twitter was people complaining about the way that the camping system or the queuing system is done. It's apparently like at doors, people just getting into any order they want. It's like, well, that's because queuing and camping for unreserved standing.
I've always said, like, if I was in a band, I would just come out public. Like, if I was Matty Healy, I'd just come out publicly and be like, right, you need to like pack it in camping for our shows because you're not guaranteeing yourself anything. Do you know what I mean? You're just putting yourself in danger. You're annoying other people.
I think of 1975 is like their security team actively work with the campers to make it work, where that doesn't happen with Inhaler. It's very more fan led.
Yeah, the thing with Inhaler fans as well, they're kind of dumb because they think, right, that the band hire we know that the band don't hire venue security, right? So the band hire their own personal security. And what that means is that if anyone's trying to get to the band, they're going to be dealt with by the band security. If you're getting like groomed or fucking harassed or trampled on in the crowd, it's nothing to do with the band security that's happened. It's the venue security. But Inhaler fans seem to always blame the band. and they're like
Yeah.
higher, better security. And when
When
it's
again, I know he said not really about it, and I don't want to keep bringing it up. But the Blackpool stuff is like people like as soon as the doors opened and the crowd got shuffled into like a crowd, and people who were at the front of the queue ended up in the middle of the crowd or whatever.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's unreserved standing. Don't post a picture of yourself and crying about it on Twitter.
yeah.
Like
But it's not like it's not Inhaler security that's the issue. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's
it's
like
the venue.
people are constantly blaming Inhaler. I saw so many tweets being like, Inhaler need to get better security. Their security are clearly fine because Inhaler are still on stage. They, you know what I mean? No one's climbing onto the stage. No one's sneaking onto their tour bus. Any of this shit. It's the venue security they need to improve. They're the ones that protect you. The band security protect the band. The venue security protect the the consumer.
Yeah,
And that's all I have to say on that. But yeah, Inhaler fans are actually worse than Taylor Swift fans. So there we go. Let me zoom out so we can see the full thing. So look how far we've come. Zoomed a bit too far.
out of how many was it? 32.
It looks like there was 32. Yeah, 32 bands. Inhaler was absolutely the smallest. Inhaler was the smallest band on this whole thing as well. Maybe Fontaine's.
I'd say Inhaler at this point are bigger than Fontaine's.
Maybe Clairo actually, but
Now Claire is huge. Like you'd be surprised about Claire. I know we don't listen to her, but
okay. So
Claire is following massive.
We're saying objectively, Inhaler are the smallest band here, and they've literally got the worst fan base, and that just proves everything. To be fair,
They went further than the entirety of K-pop.
Yeah, if you're like the smallest band out of these, and you've somehow got a more annoying fan base than fucking 1975 Harry Styles, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Lana Del Rey, 100 Gex, Carti, Travis Scott, all of K-pop fans, Cortinas, Oasis and Blur, Weezer and Radiohead and Nirvana, that just backs up the point. But yeah, that's it. That's the tier list. It's been an interesting episode. I feel like this is going to wind a lot of people up. It's definitely going to be a lot of discussion had, especially about the kind of Taylor Swift Inhaler side of things. But it's been a pleasure to do it with you, Sam.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And I imagine me and you will be back with one of these in another 6 months' time.
Oh,
Because
we absolutely will, and it's going to be just an hour of me slagging off Inhaler.
we could literally just do like a weekly news report where we just talk about like things that have gone down in the Inhaler fandom.
And I'm going to put out a tweet right now saying I can't wait to see what happens at the Inhaler show tonight. Literally, I've gone on Twitter, and the first thing I see is of my mate who's at the Inhaler show complaining about the Inhaler queue at the moment.
It's just perfect, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose that is the end of the tier list, so we'll leave it there. I'll see you all next week when I am joined by a different guest. I don't know who yet because we haven't recorded the episode, but we'll figure it out. And that is all from me.